A shocking attack in Virginia. A Danville City Councilman was doused in gasoline and then set on fire. This attack happening on Wednesday. Here's what we know at this point. The city councilman, Lee Vogler, was at his place of employment, which is a local magazine office, when a man forced his way into the locked building and then doused Vogler in gasoline. Vogler shouted for someone to call 911, then ran outside of the building, where the suspect then allegedly chased him down and set him on fire. Vogler was flown to the hospital burn unit with serious injuries. The suspect is Shotzi Michael Buck Hayes. He was arrested at the scene. He's facing charges including attempted murder. Investigators say the motive appears to be personal and not related to politics or Vogler's work as a city councilman. Vogler's a father of two. He was working at the magazine as a salesman. The publisher says there was no indication that he felt threatened prior to this attack. So there's a lot we still don't know, but what a crazy story. Joining us now, Kirk Buchalter, professor of law at New York Law School. He's also a former detective with the New York Police Department. Welcome to you. Wow, this is some wild case. I don't know the extent of his injuries, but I can't imagine it's good. If you're in the room as a detective with this suspect, what questions are you asking him right off the bat as part of the interrogation?
So we already know a great deal in that the victim, unfortunately, and the perpetrator here knew each other, and that this attack rather appears to be based on something outside of politics, some interaction between the two. So the most obvious question as an investigator would be, why did you commit this act? Interestingly enough, that is not going to be absolutely critical to the prosecution of the suspect, because this was clearly and not only intentional, but premeditated and deliberate, given all that, if you could prove that he knew the victim, the act of obtaining the gasoline and bringing it to the location. But still, to close the loop, you certainly want to know the motive. This is also important in case the suspect at some point would claim that he was not guilty or criminally responsible by reason of insanity.
How about just the nature of the act itself? I mean, it's bad enough if someone, shoots or stabs someone, but to douse them in gasoline and set them on fire, I mean, that's another level of torture.
It certainly is. It calls to mind that in as little as 2 or 3 days, we've seen these they seem somewhat, well, let's say, unexpected, horrific acts. You had the shooting in New York, and here, who would expect to be doused with gasoline and set on fire? Um, it's a crime that certainly shows the suspect had a high level of animus for the defendant. And the suspect, I would have to say, is suffering from some type of emotional or mental break. Doesn't mean that he is someone who would not be criminally responsible by virtue of that, but it certainly shows a deviation in his thinking.
The fact that the victim is a city official, even if that wasn't the reason, the motive, does that have any impact on the legal part of this case, Kirk?
I could see it having an impact, only that this person is likely to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And why is that? Because attacks on our governmental entities, be they police officials or elected officials, this is a couple of steps away from anarchy, and this is not how we solve our problems in this country. So whether it was related to the councilman's position or unrelated, certainly he is a councilman, and I would think the jurisdiction there want to send a message, state of Virginia want to send a message that attacks on elected officials will simply not be tolerated.
What type of punishment might he be looking at if convicted of these crimes?
So for both crimes, one being a Class 2 felony, the other being a Class 4 felony, the maximum sentence is 20 years with an additional up to $100,000 in a fine. So I would think that the suspect will plead out to this case unless there is some evidence that we are not aware of. So he's probably looking at least 20 years. If he pleads out, it will be somewhat less, but not significantly, maybe 10 to 15 years.